You know how fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast. If you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot. Leave now. Run to your safe space. Get your little cloth for your tears. All the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any local or government agency. Welcome, MOTORCOP Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, as always, the Iceman. We're going to have a guest this evening. Before we do that, we're going to get all the housekeeping out of the way. So if you want a great cigar, go to patriotcigar.com. Use the promo code MOTORCOP15. You get 15% off of your order. You order $100 or more, you get free shipping. If you want any MOTORCOP merch, you can go either to MotorCopChronicles.com, go to merch section, or just go straight to the Etsy store. T-shirts, I just got some new candles in. One new candle. It says cocaine and hookers on it. You know, it don't smell like cocaine or hookers, but it has different scents you can get. It also has a small print on it that it was made by forced labor in an undisclosed country. So take that for what it's worth. And if you want any extra episodes, you can join the Patreon. You don't have to. I know times are tough. But I got, a whole bunch of extra episodes, pictures. Very active on it. So if that's something you're interested in, go try it. You can try it for 7 days for free. I'll shout out our Patreons. These are full crew members. We got Kelly Meyer. We got old MotorCop for Life, Jared Nitrous. We got William Jibo Jr. We got Dan Carlson with Barley Boards. Y'all know, go check him out. Makes a great product. Handmade cutting boards. Like I always say, you can either beat a bad guy with it, spank your kids, or you can spank your wife with it also. Go check them out. We got T-Bird. We got Hoppy Hopperson, our favorite truck driver, Mr. Blake Walker, Aaron with the I Had to Say It podcast. Check him out. Mr. Z Palmer, Roy Spalding, Roy with the S, not Roy with the P. Of course, our favorite girl from Australia, JoJo, and Natasha A. from the state of Washington. We appreciate y'all helping me pay the bills. And without further ado, we're going to get our guest in over here, Miss Deborah.
Hello.
You want to tell the people a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Oh, my gosh. I started out life as in the National Guard in the Army as communications specialist, moved on to military police officer, then had a little bit of overlap. I was starting the academy with Sacramento Police Department at the same time that it was back in 92 when we got called out to LA for the riots down there. So I had a little bit of overlap there. Got out of the Guard. Was released from Sac PD on probation, and then was hired with El Dorado County, and I stayed there for 27 years as a dispatcher. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yeah, the riots she's talking about are not the Black Lives Matter riots. No. We're talking about the Rodney King riots for all those old folks back there.
Yes, that was quite the experience, I tell you.
Can't we just all get along? That was the downfall of policing right there. Fucking video camera.
Oh my God. Yeah, and that was actually the start of my PTSD journey. When we went in, they assigned us down to Long Beach, and while we were there, I got shot at, and then we got moved down to downtown LA, and then we were having formation or something at dinner, And so, one of my mates in the company there decided to drop his gun, and it went off. So, watching 150 people hit the
Was this
deck
the police or the military?
Military, yeah.
Dropping it. It's like, here's the M16. Only drop once.
Well, actually, what was funny is they gave us M16s, but didn't give us any ammo for it.
Well, how'd his go off?
Because we're military police, we, according to the UCMJ, we were able to carry our sidearm loaded. They couldn't take that away from us. So
how do you drop a sidearm?
He dropped his sidearm. Holy hell! Yeah, that was quite the. So yeah, that started me on my PTSD journey right there.
Well, look, nobody got hit.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, but that was quite the experience going down there, because you go in the Army and you're training to go fight the enemy, and in another country or whatever, you're not trained to deal with your own citizens coming after you. Holy heck.
I know a lot of people. I want to explain to them how was this what show I used to watch? One of these 911 shows that have the dispatchers on there, stuff like that, and a lot of people don't realize that it's not the same as what they shows on TV.
Oh no, absolutely not. The one show that's on now, 911 and then 911 Lone Star, those are the two that have that Hollywood portrayal of a dispatcher. And we sit there and we watch it, and they put on this little headset here on their thing, and they sit down and they're taking all these calls, and then they can all of a sudden work the radio, and it's like, that's not how that works, people.
Yeah, I mean, and you could spend an hour on the phone with one person until the cops get there.
I spent so working my final agency. I was a rural county, so there was one call. I spent 3 hours on the phone with someone, because by the time they got there, they still had to we had to keep her on the phone because there was an active shooter around where she was at. And so we had to keep her on the phone so that we knew where she was at, so that we could extricate her from her hiding spot. So yeah, 3 hours on the phone. That was quite amazing. But
yeah. Well, I told somebody one time, I said, Lone Star 911 and the other one, I'm like, they had Chicago Fire too. I'm like, firemen do not fight fires and rescue people from life or death situations like 3 or 4 times a day per shift. Oh, good God, no. No. But there's so much difference though. Like when you're at an agency, it's a larger agency, there can be stuff going on all day, but it's not going to be in the same district. It's so much, watching those shows in 911, they're at the beach in Santa Monica doing stuff, and then they're over in the LA hills, and then it's like their districts are so much smaller. It makes it look like that one little station is covering the whole city. Oh yeah, it's like, we're going to run over here to this side of the state. Oh my gosh, yeah, but there are a couple shows out there on. And I can't remember, one of the cable networks, that it's 911 call center or something like that. But they actually go in and they show actual call centers, and they talk to the dispatchers, and they show it from our perspective, so that when they have the call, they're running the calls, you kind of see what we're seeing, which is not much. You answer that call and you're just looking at your computer screen. You kind of have to imagine what's going on. And so it was interesting to watch, though I can't watch those anymore.
I had to get rid of all those shows.
And everybody, if you hear me, I'm stopped up. So I'm not sick. It's just my sinus issues I have. I can't imagine how stressful it could be where, you send somebody on a call and they get there and it's a hot call or whatever, and you don't know what's going on, especially if you hear shots fired or somebody calls for assistance or backup or something. You can't see, you don't know, and all you can do is wait for the next person to call on the radio. I know how it is, when I've been out of zone or whatever, where I hear a hot call come out, and I know I'm way too far to even think about responding to it, and I'm just sitting there waiting to to hear. Somebody's gonna go code 4. Something, so I can't imagine how,
Oh, absolutely. When you get a shots fired call and all you're hearing is gunshots and somebody screaming in your ear, and you don't have cameras, you don't have all the best you have maybe is Google Maps to kind of give you a layout of what the area looks like, but that's not showing you what's going on there. So you don't know who's getting shot at, who's shooting or what's going on. It's a really helpless feeling.
Like I said, I just
it's
I just can't, can't imagine, sitting there waiting. I've been in some situations like that, but it wasn't part of my job. So
right. Yeah, but when I first started, because I had been on the street, doing military police work, it was kind of I felt like I needed to go do something. Like, here, let me take this call, and then let me run outside, jump in my car, and go handle it. And you just can't do that when you're answering phones. So yeah, that was a hard one to come to grips with. But
So did you ever have any crazy people call?
Oh my gosh, all the time. It's let's see, who's my first crazy person was Alfred, and he lived at one of the residential treatment centers. And when he would get out, he would call us to come get him and take him home. And I made the mistake of telling him my name, and so every time he called after that, he'd ask for me. So sometimes you just can't do that, but you have the people, and it's like, oh my gosh, they're mentally disturbed, and they just keep calling and calling and calling, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't take them to jail.
No, you can't. Unfortunately,
unless they're calling 911 repeatedly, but our crazy people weren't that crazy. They would call us on the 7-digit line so they wouldn't get in trouble. And
yeah, we had our frequent flyer, the one that when I was a regular road deputy, a uniform guy before I went in motors. They had this one lady, I won't say her name, she's gone now, but she was our local crazy. Well, she was in my zone. This woman hated my guts. Because she would call every day, and she would call, and her dad was he was deceased, but he had been a judge in Mississippi and stuff like that, and she liked to let everybody know it, and all kind of stuff. She lived close to the state police firing range, and they gave her a badge, told me that she was the night watchman, because she'd always call and complain, saying they were blowing chickens and shit up. Oh yeah. But I just, after you deal with somebody so long, you just start getting aggravated with it. But she would actually call. She hated me so bad, she would call, and she's like, look, I need a deputy over here, but don't send me. She'd give them my name. It's like, don't send the Iceman over here. Of course, they would send me because that's my zone. She gets so pissed off when I'd show up. And
oh, gosh.
And it was just.
And some of them are just nasty. And when you're working in the call center, you kind of imagine what these people look like. But the county I worked in was so small that I didn't live in the same county I worked in, but I shopped there. I'd go to the grocery store before I went home or the gas station or whatever, and you'd run into these people. And it's like, oh God, luckily they didn't know who I was, but it's like, oh my God, that's what that person looks like.
Yeah,
And
but
so,
well, it's bad when you work the streets and they do know who you are, and you're out
Exactly.
shopping with like your mom, who and your mom, my mom. I didn't come from a law enforcement family. I'm still the only person that's been in law enforcement in my family, and so my mom, and she's one of the people. My mom was one of them. God rest her soul. Thought that the world was full of rainbows and unicorns. Everything was just wonderful. And we went to the mall one day and we're walking in and I hear, hey Sarge, and I'm like, oh God. He goes, I ain't smoked crack in 2 weeks. My mom ain't never seen a crackhead that she knew about in her life back in the day. And I thought she was just about to pass out from the look on her face, It's like, she's like, oh my God, that's a crackhead. You want some peanuts? Give it to
oh my
him.
God, I could imagine my mom probably do the same thing.
Like me when I went
my
to D.C. last year for Police Week. I'm down south Louisiana boy. I'm not a city boy. I've been outside, working on my goat pens and stuff all day. And I went to D.C. and I saw like 5 trannies in one block, and I thought I was at the zoo. I'm like, look, there's one right there. There's one right. We don't have them around here. That's like far and in between it. We have a tranny, and it's like they everywhere. I was like, this is a zoo.
Yeah,
Look at them.
It's different, definitely different.
Well, you still in California over there?
Oh yeah. All my kids and grandkids are here, so I'm not going to be leaving anytime soon.
Beautiful state.
It's
It's
nice. I live
land
in
of
northern,
fruits and
so-
nuts. But
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I really like it here. I mean, I grew up here, so I had a little bit of a stint down in Texas when I was in the Army outside of San Antonio, but other than that,
I was in California
out
for a while
here.
when I was in the Marine Corps.
yeah, San Diego,
Yeah.
Pendleton.
But yes, like,
Yes, I'm a couple hundred miles away from that one, but
well, they said it's not California's nice as long as you're not in any of the big cities. You gotta stay away from like the big
Yeah.
cities.
so I'm near Sacramento, which so I'm not near San Francisco or LA or anything like that, and where we're at is 2 hours from the snow, 2 hours from the beach. It's great.
No, y'all can keep snow. Oh Lord, I don't like snow.
Yeah, we got about 20 feet of snow up there in the hills.
No, we
this
don't.
year,
We don't
so-
have hills. We have swamps. we're beneath sea level over here. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh.
I had a friend come
Yeah.
over and they were like, "Well, what's those little mud things? The little mud things sticking all over your yard?" I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" And they showed them to me. I said, "That's crawfish holes." They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, crawfish live in there." It's like, like, do that.
There you go.
I'm like, they were like
Yeah,
freaked
that-
out on
that's-
the ditches. They're like, y'all got ditches and they're deep. I'm like, not really, but they're ditches. But I can show you some deep ones.
I would say you got to watch out for those ditches because they're full of water. The gators and the snakes.
Yeah, I mean, where I live at, there's not really, we don't have gators walking in my yard or nothing like that. Now, the area I do work in, yeah, I've had to actually go remove gators from people's yards or out of the road. One of my TikToks, if you look at my TikTok account, there's this one big gator we had to shoot out the road, and he was probably close to 12 feet. His snout was touching the fog line, and his tail was across the center line.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was ginormous. He was a big boy.
I was in Alabama for basic training, so I think I was far enough away that we didn't have gators, but we had those darn snakes that don't make noise.
What do you
Here
mean?
in California, we just have rattlesnakes. They make noise.
Oh, I'm
and
like, what are you
let's know
talking
where
about? Don't
they're
make noise.
at. out there you have those copperheads and water moccasins.
Oh yeah, we got water snakes, and we were out cleaning today, and I saw the wife, and she stopped. I was like, "What?" Because I was doing something, and she was moving something. She said, I was just letting that little garter snake go on about his business so I could, finish cleaning. Because he's a good snake. You got to make sure you don't want to kill the good snake.
Oh, absolutely.
So, because some people just chop the head off. I was like, no, that's a good snake. Like, you don't want to kill a king snake or nothing like that. I only want to kill. Everybody's like, how can It's like, well, for one thing, if you look at the shape of their head or their eyes, they're like, you sitting there long enough to be able to look at their eyes. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I had they came and fixed my we got new air conditioning on the house. They pulled off the old unit that was on the ground, and I see all these guys running out the gate because it was in the backyard, and they're like, snake, snake, and I'm going, oh my God. Okay, so I go back in there, a little garter snake, just kind of it's like, come on, guys.
My wife was like I said, she was out there and she's like, oh, he was just a baby, No, I did many moons ago, 20-something years ago. I was dating this girl who she come running up. She's like, oh my God, there's a snake in my flower bed. There's a pregnant snake in my flower bed. I'm like, what? I said, what? There's a pregnant, I know that snakes don't give birth like that, okay? Snakes lay eggs. Cold-blooded creature. So I'm like, no, I walk over there. It was a little water snake, not poison. Well, of course, it wasn't pregnant. He had probably just eaten a frog or something, and he was, and I picked him up and moved him away, But I'm like, no, it's not bad. I said, let me explain something to you. Snakes don't get pregnant like that. He had just eaten something. That's why he wasn't moving a whole lot. Yeah, a pregnant snake. Yeah.
Nice.
It's like when them people, you got a road closed, they walk, what happened?
Oh,
Shark attack. No, I actually told somebody I had an interstate shut down, and this guy pulls up and says, I can't go that way? That would be no. That's why I have my unit across the roadway and barricades out here. It says road closed.
Closed.
Well, I'm trying to get home to Texas. I said, where? He said, Texas. I said, too late. I said it dead serious, too. I said, too late. He's like, what? I said, zombie attack. It's too late. Texas is gone. I just looked at him. Dead straight, stone cold faced, looked at him. The guy was just looking at me like, I said, you just got to go that way. Go that way. I never said no difference to him. Of course, I'm the guy on that Waves app or whatever. Had the road shut down. I got on a Waves app and marked myself there in a little note thing I put down. I was like, no, yes, the road is closed. No, you may not go this way. Go right until you get to the first stop sign and take a left. You're welcome. The cop that's tired of answering all y'all's questions. Somebody actually said thank you on it.
That's awesome. Yeah, ours. When the highway would shut down in the wintertime, Google Maps would reroute people to this side road that was never plowed, and you couldn't imagine the amount of cars that would get stuck there every winter because they wouldn't see the big sign on this road that said closed.
We had a road, Google Maps would send people down that wasn't a road no more. It was, and it had a sign out there that says in parish maintenance, private property. And if you look, it was just a gravel road. But because Google Maps told people they could go down there, but they would go down there and ended up they'd get stuck. And and they would be like 2 miles from anything.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of times we'd have to go out there and like park and walk and get people out. And they're like, what about my cars? There's no record that'll come out here and get it while it's wet. You're going to have to wait. What?
It's
like, yeah, come on. We got to walk back out of here. I mean, what made you think you could, when you saw the first giant crater of a pothole? And we had one where they had one hole in it that would fill up with water, and it was so deep that your car would go underwater. You know how many cars we've had that People would have to pull out of submerged cars because they just drove off into this giant hole because Google Maps said go this way.
Yep. Yep. And people getting upset at us because we'd leave their cars in the snow. When spring thaw, you can come back out and get it.
Well, Google Maps said you could drive off that bridge. You're going to do probably so. They probably would because
Probably.
Google Maps said so. Tom.
Exactly.
I like it now. Some people will still actually stop and say, "Oh, I'm lost. I need directions," and they're holding an iPhone in their hand.
Exactly.
It's like, really? You just... It's like, okay, look, go back to where you came, 50 miles, okay? Take a left.
Go home.
I know I would tell people how to get somewhere, but I would send them in a big-ass circle.
Oh, nice.
If you're stupid enough to ask me for directions when you got a computer in your hand, I'm going to send you... You're going to spend at least 50 to 100 miles and going, to get back to where you needed to be.
We're going to send you the tourist route. Have a nice day.
I hope you like scenic. You like scenic. This truck driver stopped wasn't too long ago, asked me. Says wanted me to help him. He hands me these, paper. And I look at it, and I look back at him. I said, what the fuck is this, Russian or something? And it was. I was like, do I even sound like I would even think about speaking Russian? I sound like a flaming redneck. I already know what I sound like, okay? I've listened to myself. A Russian. Come on now, dude. No. What is it? Yeah, the gulag is that way. Go.
Yeah. No, I was dispatching. I tell you what, though, Google Maps, that was the biggest thing to dispatching.
Well, you started dispatching a long time ago before they had, stuff like that.
Oh, 1994. Well, actually, I started in 92. So, we had Thomas guides. I don't know if you're old enough to remember those.
Well, I started full-time in 95. I was a reserve in 93.
Yeah, the map books. So you'd go to the back pages and find the street, and then it would tell you the map page. Then you'd have to find the map page and figure it out where you needed to go.
Our map book in the little redneck area that I started working in was a binder. Everybody,
Oh man,
it was a binder that it was hand drawn.
Oh,
where somebody had drove down that road and hand drew the map as best they could. And that's what you had.
That's amazing.
So we didn't even have, when I first started the department, we didn't even have portables. That's why I tell these kids now, we had a mic clip we'd have on our bar light that you'd open your window and clip your mic out there. Just if something went bad, hopefully you get back and at least grab it. Yeah, these kids today are like, I'm going to be standing by for backup for this disturbance. I'm like, yeah, whatever, backup. What is that?
Oh, my God. Well, when I started at Sacramento, they used to have a system where it was like a big board and it had like little switches on it. So you'd switch on a light for whatever district that was, and it was a light on a pole, and down near the bottom of the pole was the call box. So that if they were out on patrol, they'd see the light, they'd drive to the call box and call in and talk to the dispatcher.
Wow, yeah. Like I said, I tell some of these kids now, the equipment, that's available, computers in the cars and all that stuff. I remember, being at the only McDonald's in the whole, we have parishes, of course, in Louisiana, not counties, but the only one in the entire parish, having lunch or supper, usually, because I work nights, and the little drive-through girl or whatever walk up and says, your dispatch is on the phone for you? And you have to go over there and they'd send you to a call because we didn't have a portable. We'd tell them, hey, we're going to be out at McDonald's for, Signal 1 or whatever. Yeah. And if something come up, they would call McDonald's on the phone and have them come get us so we could... Yep. And we always carried, quarters and stuff so we could stop and use a payphone if we had to.
We would, when somebody would do a food run for us, if we're going to the grocery store, we'd call the grocery store and they'd page them over the system going, you need to call in.
Oh yeah, they don't. Like I said, the younger generation, they
They don't. Yeah, they don't know anything other than the cell phones. Boy, I tell you what. This is it. It has made police work and dispatching quite different than what And even when starting out, I had to learn how to dispatch on what we called cards, the dispatch cards, rather than a computer aided system. It's like, your computers go down. You got to learn how to dispatch your units.
Well, I remember, our dispatchers, somebody call in and stuff like that. And there was no computer. They had an NCIC computer, and it had the old,
Right.
with the paper that when it would print out, if it would work, And but no, there was a book, a big old book. They would write everything down in and everything like that. There was no,
Yeah.
there was no computers.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We still had when I left, I was still teaching how to do it, how to do cards, because you never know when the computers are going to go down. Nobody expects it, and you have to know all aspects of it.
I was a jail supervisor. Basically, it was a lieutenant, and I got in trouble and taken off the road, and I ended up making jail lieutenant. I was lieutenant over a shift with, I don't know, 3 months. They had an APHIS machine. This is when APHIS was first coming out. They had one sitting there.
Yeah.
Well, nobody knew how to use it. It was just sitting there. So I sat there when I was working night shift, and I just read the damn manual and taught myself how to use the APHIS machine, and then taught the rest of the people how to use the APHIS machine. Because, it was great because we were still using ink back then.
Oh my gosh.
We were still inking, when you got arrested, we'd use ink to fingerprint people and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember when APHIS first came out, we were like, oh man, this was like cutting technology here,
Oh my gosh, yeah. My first live scan, I was shocked. I'm going, what? What is this?
Oh yeah.
Ass machine. It's like, oh my God.
And then, of course, I remember being, I tell these people freak out. I was like, I remember being at the courthouse in court, and the judge would be smoking on the bench. They'd have ashtrays in the courtroom. They were like, "What?" I'm like, oh, "Yeah."
In the courtroom, in the hallway, in the elevator.
Yeah, I remember my mom walking around Winn Dixie flicking ashes on the floor.
Oh, jeez.
It's like nowadays, like, oh my God, there's a smoker.
Yeah.
Calling a priest to exorcise that person and everything else. I used to be a smoker.
Oh, yeah. And even in dispatch, they'd be smoking in dispatch. Holy moly.
Well, they used to smoke, and the inmates used to smoke.
Yeah. Holy moly.
I don't think they can do. I don't think ours smoke either. No, I don't know what they do.
Wow. That's amazing.
So tell me a little bit. I'm curious because, like I said, I remember the riots and stuff from Rodney King. If you were working, that had to be a hell of a time with the.
Well, they drove us down there. We go into Long Beach, and there's a working fire with active looting going on every block. There was just smoke everywhere. So we got into Long Beach, and we were just a company of about 200, but we got Long Beach under control. And then they had to bring in a battalion of Marines to take over for us. Then got sent to downtown LA, and we were providing security for Parker Center, which was the police headquarters at the time for LAPD, which was right across the street from City Hall. So, but yeah, our guys were doing escorts for fire trucks, because they were shooting at even fire trucks and ambulances going in and trying to put out fires and get
bad. Most everybody likes firemen.
Yeah, which was sad, and then I think we were there for about a month, and then they finally sent us home. But yeah, it was not pretty. I try to block it out. But I did, that was my first, that would have been my first graveyard rotation too, because I was working 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift. So because I was going to dispatch school, or academy, they put me in as a dispatcher. So I was the company dispatcher at night. And when my lieutenants came and grabbed me and says, "Hey, we're going to go do a ride along." So we're going to ride along with these detectives from LAPD as their armed we were their guns. But we went down to Watts. They drove us by the Watts Towers in the middle of the night. I don't know if you remember the movie The Rookie with Denzel Washington, where they're in that apartment complex called the Jungle. We drove through that. That was scary as hell, let me tell you. But yeah, so, I got to see a lot of LA that not normal people would get to see when I went down there. But
yeah, it's like when Mary's like, "Okay, don't go in this area." Kind of like when people come to New Orleans, it's like you don't want to go over here. Don't go over there. You might get shot or definitely going to get robbed. Don't go,
But yeah, it was quite the experience, and I would not want to do that again. That was awful. I felt really bad when we had all these riots and protests during George Floyd. That was awful too. But luckily I was in the county that we didn't get much, but down where I lived at, it was bad.
We had some stuff not with George Floyd, but when we had the Alton Sterling thing in Baton Rouge, we had some people try to shut streets and stuff down. Like, you can protest, but as soon as you try to shut the street down, they start putting people in jail. So I'm like, hey, if you want to protest peacefully, and peacefully does not mean burning or looting, okay? Exactly. Peacefully means do not disturb the traffic flow. Stand on the side of the road with your little signs and, raise your fist, whatever you want to do. Don't be fucking with people driving down the road. I told my wife when all that Black Lives Matter shit was going on, I told her, I said, we didn't have it out here, but I told her, I said, if you happen to come across any of that shit, I said, you got that big 4-wheel drive Jeep that's jacked up off the ground with them big ass steel bumpers on it. If you come across a bunch of people blocking the road, do not stop. Put it in 4-wheel drive and just run over their fucking asses and come home. We'll deal with it when you get here. And I wasn't joking, I said, you don't let nobody pull you out. Just run them over. Okay? Of course, you got to understand, like I said, I know you're in California. Out where I live, they have billboards when you come into the parish that the sheriff's office put up that says, "Welcome to such and such parish. We love our children, or we love our children, our churches, and our Second Amendment. Enjoy your stay." So,
wow.
Yeah. So,
well, I don't understand. Yeah, they did a few protests and disturbed rush hour traffic on the freeway. And I don't know. CHP out here does not mess around. They were yanking them off the freeway. So
they had John and Ponch out there.
Oh my gosh! I tell you, I live near the academy for CHP, and I tell you, those boys do not mess around. They're tough.
Well, I don't understand people. Like I said, do you think that shutting a roadway down and causing people to you're messing people going to work or trying to messing with somebody's life, going about their business, not messing? Do you really think that's helping your cause?
No, it is not.
Because you just pissed. Even if I did support you, you done pissed me the hell off now.
Well, yeah, and the another favorite is the blocking off on the Bay Bridge going into San Francisco from Oakland, and they like shutting that down. And it's like, you guys don't know who you're messing with when you're messing with commuters. People want to get to work,
yeah, or get home from work.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't understand why do you think that's helping their cause?
It's not. But
whole different world down there in California.
Absolutely.
So I'll keep my southern stuff down here. I keep it. Because when I was in D.C., like I said, you talking about a country boy to the city. It was my first time being there. Well, we went to some restaurant, and everybody was like, "Oh," the people come out. They were like, I was like, I don't know how you can fuck up a hamburger, but I guess you can.
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
people are like, they were like, it looked good. It came out. I was like, I just don't look bad until I bit into it. And I'm like, okay. And the lady said, well, how was your hamburger? I said, I could have licked the table and had the same amount of, because it didn't taste like nothing. I mean, I could have just licked the table and got more flavor. Then, I had to go pee because I'm old. And I go to the restroom area and there's 2 doors. And I'm looking. And I look at the other one. And I look back. And I'm like, okay. Both the doors just said all of us. I was like, I just want to use the bathroom by myself. I don't need everybody watching me. This fucking all of us shit, I'm like, oh my God. They're like, welcome to D.C. I'm like, this is freaking crazy. Of course, I had a shirt on, that said, kind of like, I had one of these shirts on too, Foxtrot. It said, fuck you, basically.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And I wore I got shirts I wear, and some people were like, they would like point at me, and they were like, I'd never, it was a new world for me.
Yep.
It was my first time being on public transportation. I was 50 years old.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm telling you,
forward to.
I was in the city.
Yeah, I wasn't able to go to Cop Week in 2020 when we were supposed to go due to COVID. So I still got to get out there and go see that.
That was on my bucket list. We had one of our guys that had got shot during the Alton Sterling riots when we had that shooting down here with the cops, and he ended up passing away, years later, and he was a motor guy, and they put him on the wall. So that was one of the reasons I came down and stuff. And I always wanted, so I came down, and I got to, I had my police motor and stuff, so I got to run escorts, and I got to do all that and got that experience.
Nice.
So
That's nice.
since I'm close to retirement, I wanted to do it at least one time.
Yeah, hopefully I'm planning a trip that I can go out there and go do that, because I haven't been out there, and it's been 5 years since my guy died, and we'll got to do that.
Yeah, I still got my end of watch to do. This. I do an end of watch episode every month, and for everybody that for each month, and I read their names out, what happened to them, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
is at least I can do anyway. I'm like, why don't we say their names, since they're the heroes. They laid their lives down for a bunch of people that don't even like them. So
yeah. My guy, our incident, the one that ended, sent me on my retirement journey. He went out and he was ambushed in a marijuana grow that we had out here, and
got killed over some weed.
Got killed over some weed. Yeah,
it's like
not good.
No, it's ridiculous. I mean, especially nowadays, you see a lot of cops getting ambushed and stuff. I think they just had some. Where was it
up
at?
in Memphis.
Yeah, get 3 of them. One died. Young guy too. It's not like I said. It's not the same job when I first started doing this. Even in the areas I'm in. I mean, people when I first started law enforcement. I think it was even. It was up until Rodney King started changing it, but it really wasn't that bad yet. But after the George Floyd thing, it really got bad. But before that, especially in my area, I mean, hell, it was very seldomly you could go to lunch and even pay for your own lunch, and people would always thank you for your job and all that stuff like that. Yeah. People didn't, man, fuck you, or a cab and all blah blah blah, stuff like that. I had a guy.
I think it started a couple years before 2020. 2019 out here in Northern California was really bad. We had a officer. She went to a. I forget what it was, but they ambushed her there and shot her there. At another, we had lost about 5 or 6 here in Northern California in 2019. That was one of the deadliest years for cops.
I've been to so many cops' funerals, especially being a motorcycle cop. It's like, it's one thing when I do leave, that's one thing I won't miss.
No.
I tell everybody, that's like the last call and all that crap and stuff like that. It gets me.
Mm-hmm.
So, somebody said, I have people ask me stuff all the time. It's like, I'll tell people, it's like, I've seen things I don't even want to talk about that you don't even want to know. Put it this way, it's things you still dream about that don't ever go away.
Yeah.
Things nightmares made of.
Absolutely.
So, you ain't written no books or nothing, have you?
I don't no. Well, actually, I'm writing a book.
See, look, there you go.
It's on the computer. My husband keeps saying, "Well, you need to write a book," and I'm going, "It's on the computer. It's there. I work on it, but it's mostly for me. More like a journal kind of thing, writing things down so that I can remember them.
That's some of the best books to read.
So, maybe if somebody's interested and they want to help me write it, then maybe I'll do it, but. Otherwise, I just go around, tell my story, try and, tell people that they're not alone in this journey, and you don't get out of this damn profession without being different.
Oh, no. I sometimes, I wonder. I've made the comment, well, I don't talk, a lot of people about whatever kind of stresses I have. Most people would think I don't have any at all. But it's like... It's like I've thought sometimes, like, if I wouldn't have, because I went to college to be a mortician, and I stopped doing that because I was young, and where I worked at, we picked up for the children's hospital a lot, and I got tired of cutting babies open, and I ended up being a cop. Go figure. And it wasn't playing. Like I said, I have no law enforcement people in my family. So I'm not a legacy or nothing like that. And I sometimes, I've got off topic, but I've always wondered if I would have just stayed doing what I was doing as a mortician or something like that, who I would have been then. Because I am, I'm not the same person that started this job almost 30 years ago to what I am now. Unfortunately, I guess I'm lucky in the point that my wife is not one of these social butterflies. She would rather, stay at home and watch TV or just, she's got her own little, T-shirts and cups and do stuff like that. She's not she don't like going out socializing or nothing like that.
Right, right.
Because I'm now, it's like we don't even go grocery shopping anymore.
Oh, lucky you.
she done signed up for some things. She'll say, you need anything from, even though I can't stand them, but she said, you need anything from Walmart? I'm like, but she goes online, orders everything, and they deliver it to the house.
Yeah.
So it's like,
that's my only time I get out of the house. So, to go down to the store and be amongst people for. Well,
we went into Walmart. We had to go get some stuff or something. Not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, we walked in there, and we were like, Jesus Christ, this is why we do not go to the store.
Yeah, my PTSD is so bad that I can only hit like one store at a time, on my way home from work. So it's either Target or Walmart. I can't do both, and I can't
Target's
go to
like
the grocery.
Bougie.
And Costco's even worse.
Well, like I said, we were in Walmart, and somebody come up to me, and they were like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, well, how's the podcast? I'm like, I'm just doing good. All that stuff like that. They walked off. I looked at my wife. I said, who was that? She's like, I thought you. I'm like, I said I recognized them, but I can't place them, you know. I mean, I recognize the face record, like, because they told me about their wife and all. So I'm like, oh, that's great, you know. I don't say, you know, who are you?
and you are.
You know, but
Yeah, I just create a bubble around myself and keep my head low and just go in and do what I need to do.
well, it's like here. I have found that the goats are like very stress relieving for me. We'll go
Yeah,
outside
sounds
and
like-
and deal pet with them and, you know, watch them play and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm lucky enough. I have 5 acres. I got a big metal building. I built myself my own entire complete bar room inside of it, pool table, all that stuff like that. So, and I got another thing I can cook outside, so I can like have all my own stuff, have my people come over, stuff like that, and be at a bar room and all that stuff, and I don't have to go nowhere.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Mine is my grandson. We do that. I take care of my autistic grandson and we just have a ball.
I got 9 grandkids altogether.
I got 10.
Well, you got me beat by one. You can keep them because I told them. I said, y'all got to stop. I said, I can't afford Christmas and Easter and all this stuff like that. I said, y'all are about to kill me.
Yeah, I got 4 out here in California and 6 back east. 1 in Mississippi or actually 2 in Mississippi and the rest are in Texas.
Oh, all mine are right here in the state of Louisiana.
So, well, see, lucky you.
You're sending cards.
I've got twin 1.5-year-old, and oh my gosh, they are holy terrors. But I love them.
Well, so do you just like do speaking engagements now, or just?
No, I just kind of go around doing podcasts, telling my story. You know, I put my grandson down for a nap and I have some free time. And so I do podcasts with people.
Well, I appreciate you. And I'll tell you, the first time we set it up, I totally forgot about it. And it was our second time going around.
So I'm sitting here and I'm going, he fucking ghosted me.
I didn't. I was outside messing with goats. And you sent me something. I was like, oh, I felt so freaking bad. And I'm going to be honest with you. You were the second. I had 2 people. There's another person.
Oh, no.
I got him relined up too. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I did it. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. It is so hard. My hardest thing with this podcasting thing is finding people for guests. Finding guests, and then I find it, and then I forgot about it. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, shit.
Oh, I was laughing when I got your text the next day.
I was like,
oh, there he is. But you know, it's we have life.
Oh yeah, I felt so bad though. I was like, oh my God, because that's not me at all. You know, I'm the guy that's always early for work, and you know, and all this stuff like that. And I'm like, God, I can't believe I did that. And I did it twice in one week.
Right. I had another one lined up for Friday, and she called me because she was sick. So, so I had a week off, and so this week I've got 4. I'm doing 4.
You're staying busy.
Busy. Yeah. Plus, you know, I do all the running around for my grandson, so I take him to appointments and things, and yeah, I have
one of my well, I think 2 now, but I know one. He has slight autism, but I mean he's high functioning. You know, it's just if you look at him, you really wouldn't know.
Yeah, you can't tell my grandson either unless you ask him to speak, and then he
mine will speak, but it's like certain subjects he'll tell you like Pokemon. He knows everything there is to know about it, but it's like other stuff. Like school's been hard for him because he's so smart he gets bored.
Yes.
So.
That's when you add books. I did that with my stepson. He would get so bored, so I just gave him college books to read, and he was fine.
Hey, whatever works for it, you know.
Exactly. It's like, here, read these. I'll tell you.
So
I just kind of go and do that, and lots of therapy, and because we all need that. But yeah, I've done. One of these days I'll get my book out there. Who knows?
Well, you need to work on it. If you want to tell the people, I mean, it's up to you. Or if you want to give them a little thing of what happened to you, what caused your.
So, well, I mean, you have 28 years of trauma on trauma on trauma. So, when you're in dispatch, it's not like when you guys are on the road and you can, spend an hour on a call and maybe process that bad stuff out during the rest of the evening. We go from call to call to call to call to call. And there's been times where I've had, 3 traumatic calls in an evening and not had time to process it out. So you add that with 28 years of being a dispatcher, officer involved shootings and things like that. But the final one was in 2019. And like I said, my officer was ambushed. I sent 3 of them out there, and he was ambushed and killed. And, spending that time trying to get help out to him because they weren't in a good area. It took 45 minutes for a lot of our units to get out there once we got that call. And, once you get shots fired, you're trying to scramble to find we were calling from other counties and other agencies, Fish and Game and CHP and, as many people as we could get there in a timely manner. But yeah, he was the first officer involved shooting death in 150 years in our county. Mm. And so it took its toll. Nobody that was on that call, our original dispatch, me and the 3 guys that went are no longer working. So, yeah, it was a bad one. It was a bad shooting.
Yeah. Like I said, a lot of people don't realize too. Like, there's places I have to work. Sometimes, I'd be all right and take something. Closest back up would be, if I was lucky, 30, 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
It's like not all of us are in big cities everywhere.
No. Yeah. And and that makes it worse because you've got these guys out there in an active shoot. And, they're the first person that got there, luckily he had already been it was our sergeant. He was already on the way. So he was only 10 minutes away. But even that, it was still 30 minutes before we could get anybody else out there.
Yeah.
So, it was very stressful. And my psychiatrist signed me out in 2020 and I retired in 2021. And that's all she wrote.
Still going. Hey, you out there telling your story. So you never know how many people you may help. And all it takes is that, I tell everybody, I've been doing this almost 30 years, I know for a fact there's a couple people out there that I know for a fact that I helped because they've actually, they come back and talk to me and stuff like that. So, hey, if it took 30 years and I know I helped one person out in 30 years, to me that was worth it. So.
Oh, absolutely. And just getting out there because dispatchers are not given, I don't think they're given the recognition that they deserve as first responders. We've got to listen to that shooting in progress or that stabbing or that mama that just found her baby dead, and we've got to listen to that until you guys that are on the street get there. And that's traumatic for us, but nobody thinks that, they're just a dispatcher.
No, you're on the phone with somebody trying to keep them calm and talk to them without, the emotions they're going through that you can feel. And I imagine, got to be hard. It ain't like you can just reach out and hug somebody or touch them on the shoulder or anything.
Right. And it's a very helpless feeling that you can't, that you're not doing that. And you've got to do it with your voice. You can't use your body language or your facial expressions or anything like that. And plus you have to try and keep calm because you want to get that information needed from this hysterical person or this out of control situation that's going on. and then, for somebody to say, oh, it's just dispatch, they don't need help. Yeah, we do. Go and today actually starts telecommunicators week. So
See, I just learned something.
So yeah, to go out and hug your dispatchers, buy them breakfast.
Well, I can't do that. HR might get really mad if I'm in there hugging on dispatchers or something.
But yes,
it's different times nowadays.
Yeah, and we're working on getting federal recognition as first responders. So,
but this way, bring your dispatchers. If you work a morning shift, bring your dispatchers a dozen donuts. Or if you work a night shift, just go grab a little Caesar's pizza. They'll appreciate it.
Yes, go say thank you. Yes,
because I still do that sometimes, just for the hell of it. I'll just show up with donuts, for no reason. Everybody's like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "Cause you don't want your dispatchers not to like you. That's when you end up with that's when you end up with the stupid calls,
Stupid calls and no lunch.
Can you? We got a anonymous report of I think the neighbor said that the next door neighbor's dog was farting and it stunk really bad. Can you go investigate that, please? So,
yep.
I mean,
mine was copy a barking dog call, and our furthest spot that in our county was the remote place that nobody ever wanted to go to was called Loon Lake. And so yeah, I'd say, oh, copy a barking dog call at Loon Lake. You done pissed me off.
It's
go.
like
Go drive.
I've clocked, when you clocking in, 600 miles on a shift because they got you running. Which I've done. Had me running from one side to the other. I'm like, my
absolutely.
God. It's like, what? Nobody's closer than me on a 40-minute drive to go unlock this person's car. Because we still unlock cars.
You were pissed off at the guy that was asking for his car to be unlocked too.
We still unlock cars. Well, I don't.
Oh
but
gosh.
Yes, we still do that out here.
Yeah, we did that for a long time. Barking dogs, unlock cars, you name it, we did it. But
we still. Well, I don't because I'm in specialized vision, but I'll hear them still. They'll. I think the lady passed away. I heard because I asked them. I said, "What happened to that lady I kept sending y'all to down the bayou that would out here?" They'd say that. Let's just call her Miss Lucille. Go ahead, can y'all go to Miss Lucille's house? She says she's got some tea in her car. She needs help brought into her house. I'm like, really? You just then you could. They just go 10-4. I'm like, God, Miss Lucille drinks a lot of fucking tea, It's just because they go over there a lot, She needs to get some dry mix or something.
I was gonna say, get her the dry mix because it's
like,
so much less.
yeah. But yeah, that stuff still happens.
Oh yeah.
Welcome
Gotta
to the
love
country.
it.
Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm not quite as serious as some of the other ones that you've been on, and I've heard you. I just, like I said, I just talk. I don't have a thing.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I quite enjoy just having that conversation, and hopefully we have that conversation, and hopefully we'll have another conversation, and pretty
never
soon
know. Hey, well, I mean, you got Copline, you got all. And let me tell you what, anybody out there, and especially in law enforcement and civilians too, you getting bad thoughts in your heads. At least call and talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
Because I'm gonna tell you what, speaking from somebody, me, who had my best friend of mine, shoot herself in the head, took herself out, when she was only in her 40s, and she has kids, she had grandkids and everything else. I don't know what was going on, It still makes me mad thinking about it today. I spoke at her funeral. It still makes me mad because, it's like, why would you do that to me, your kids, and everything else? Why didn't you call and say something? Stuff like that. Don't do it because you know what? You're dead.
Absolutely.
But it's everybody else that you left behind picking up the pieces. So you didn't solve it. Oh, that'd be better off without me. Bullshit. That's bullshit. People are not better off. Trust me, people would much rather have you around, whoever you may be.
After I retired, well, even before that, we lost one gal to suicide, and the ripple effect is not pleasant, and people that just they lost it after that, and they turned to drinking or drugs or whatnot, and you can't be a cop after that, and.
So,
but
just pick up the phone, call somebody.
Absolutely. Luckily, I had some fabulous coworkers that got an intervention and got me to get help. So,
never thought about that. I just figure I'd rather stick around and piss people off. My wife tells me sometimes she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm on this news app, like commenting on stuff. She says, oh my gosh, she said, will you stop it? Because I'll go say shit just to piss people off and stir them up, just for the hell of it. Because I'm that guy. Because I'm like, and they're like all mad stuff, and I'm sitting back laughing. I'm like, these person's like, I'm like in their head right now, rent free, and they're just mad. I'm over here laughing my ass off just because I just got under their skin. Yeah. Just for the hell of it. She's like, God, stop stirring the pot. And I'm like, it's fun.
Sometimes it's good therapy to stir the pot. I tell you.
It's like
because you're not in the middle of it.
It's so fun. But like I said, I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for having me on. And, I'm always available.
Okay. And, well, everybody, don't hang up yet. Everybody. Y'all about to hang up because I'm about to end it. But I'm telling Miss Deborah not to hang up because I appreciate her. I love talking to people. She's actually, I think, my first dispatcher I think we've had on here too.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
I've been trying. And everybody remember, like we said before, if you need help, call somebody. Hell, email me. I don't care.
Yep.
I'm not going to give you my phone number because some people do have it. They but like I said, everybody be safe. Watch your back. Watch your partner's back. Remember, we're not sheepdogs. We're lions. And remember to smile because Iceman could always be behind you. The outro.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until